So let's take a look at mass communication for business. So now we know what is mass communication, and but we still don't know something, that is, how can mass communication be an effective module or effective way when it comes to business. So why don't we take a look at it now? When we say mass communication, how will it affect the business? Mass communication is the television ads, the radio ads, the newspaper ads, billboards, anything that you see in and around you. It can be the simple pamphlet that has been distributed in your area. You're still communicating to a lot of people, right? Now, so to look at it, the first one would be product launch. You can use mass communication to inform people about new launch of your product. Now, this company Toyota has launched a new car, the Innova Chrysler. Now, how am I aware about it? Because it's not yet hit the roads, but I am still aware about it only because I have checked it on the World Wide Web. I had seen an advertisement of it on YouTube. So, what is YouTube doing? YouTube is communicating to a lot of people about the launch of their new product. About the launch of Toyota's new product, which is the Innova Chrysler. It is, of course, a car. Same way, if it is, say, the Apple iPhone 7, which is hopefully going to be launched this year, or say if it's the Apple iPhone SE, which has just been launched. Now, with these kind of products, not everyone is aware about it. It is very few people who are aware about it. And now, if Apple is launching this iPhone SE, of course, only Apple will be aware about it. However, what is Apple's intention? It is not to manufacture the phone and distribute it only to its employees, or nor does Apple want to just manufacture the phone and only sell it to its employees. That's not what Apple wants. Apple has manufactured this phone for the common people. So in this case, Apple wants everyone around, every common man, every common person, a common man like me, to possess this particular phone. However, how will I be aware about it? Because Apple will, of course, not come and tell it to me. And there would be so many more people like me who would also like to purchase this phone. But how does Apple communicate to them? Any guesses? Well, kudos, you're correct. Apple can communicate it to the general public, the general people, by forms of TV advertisements. So, when do you know there's a new iPhone launched? When you either just Google it, it's all over Facebook, or maybe you just see an advertisement of it on television, or you just read it in some newspaper or some magazine, or you see a billboard which is placed uh, right outside some store, some standees which is placed outside a Apple store or an Apple store for that matter. It can it can be anything which signifies and informs you about the product launch. So it was just one example about Apple. So there are other companies like Toyota who can inform you about the product launch of their cars. It can be other companies, for example, it can be Ferrari, or it can be Lamborghini, or it can be even such a big news like Tata took taking over Jaguar Land Rover. It can be something as simple as just a new brand of soft drink. It can be as simple as that. It can be just a big cola, a big soft drink brand. It can be that Coca Cola is launching a new drink, maybe with lemon flavor. Think about it. How do you guys even know? How does anybody even come to know? simple only when it's on television. So if you know that if you've heard that saying that if you're not famous as long as you aren't on TV, or you're famous when you're on TV, same thing. So in simple words, any new product which is launched and is launched for the general public and is launched for the purpose of being sold to the general public has to be informed to the general public in some way or the other. Now, the only way of informing it to the general public is by doing a public product launch. You can call the newspaper channels, you can call the news channels out there. So the news channels come, they which is officially called the press launch. Even for a movie, you have a press launch of the movie. So you have a press launch, the people from various news channels come, they take interviews, they ask you questions about it on behalf of common people. You start flashing advertisements of the same on all over the internet. You just post it on Facebook and you ask people to share it and like your post. You flash it all over the television on different channels. You request some radio jockeys to play it for you. You can have a different tune for it, you can have something different for it so people know it as well. And thus you can have a grand product launch. You can have it in your showroom. If you're a big brand, or if you intend to start a big brand, you can actually start it off with your showroom. You can invite people over, you can distribute pamphlets and let them know that there's a new product in the market which is supposed to be launched and so and so. And you can request people, why don't you drop in for this product. The advantage is, the more the people know about the product or the service, the more is the possibility that people will purchase that product or service. The more famous it becomes. So if I come over and tell you, hey, have you heard about this brand called Adidas? You'd be like, oh yes, I have. Adidas is one of the perfect brands. I mean, one of the best brands I've ever used. Same way if I say that, have you ever heard about this brand called Woodlands? And you'd be like, oh, Woodlands, it's one of the best brands I've ever used. I really like it. I mean, I personally am a Woodland fan. If Woodland launches a new shoe and I see it on some of the fashion websites or somewhere, I'm the first one to go ahead and purchase it. Advantage of mass communication is your product becomes famous, and end of the day you're able to sell it more in quantities and achieve the targets for the same, right?